guess we're awake. I guess we're live. I may be guessing wrong on both those things. You're rock hard. I'm a big gooey turd. Gooey is supposed to have an E in it, bro. Gooey is not just Gooy. There's that's an actual word, and it has a spelling. You know what I mean? It's got an E in there. Hey guys. Yeah. Cinnamon buns. Show us your teeth. Didn't sleep well. No, I slept okay. I slept just fine, actually. This is just one of those days where I just did not want to get out of bed. I woke up several times, you know, kind of naturally, just like, do. And normally I'd be like, okay, let's jump up, get in the shower, blah, 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 blah. Today I was just like, so I'd roll over and I'd go back to sleep a little bit. Dynor just handed me this. You rope? Play tug of war with the rope? I am quite worried about the recent anti-Sargon mob hatred in the DP community and the apparent rift in the anti-SJW YouTuber community. What do you think? I'm not worried at all about it. The anti-SJW YouTube community could fall apart tomorrow, and I probably wouldn't know about it unless somebody fucking told me. I don't care. I think that the community is packed full of people who have piggybacked on a hot topic, piggybacked on the style of other presenters that are far better than them, and I think it's time to start seeing some of them drop off the fucking map. Pretty much everybody that appeared in that video with Hunter Avalone that we played a couple of episodes ago, they got suckered by an actual right-wing fucking douchebag into coming on and spouting off Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity talking points against liberals. Like it's fucking some new spicy thing that they're telling people. These people need to be flushed down the fucking toilet immediately if this community of people is to have any kind of fucking respectability to its audience. The fact that you got boogers like that dangling, it's like, ugh, fuck me. Hell yeah, even Andy Worski, fuck him. How dumb do you gotta be to fucking appear in a video like that? Gotta be fucking stupid. You might be a liberal if... Really? One of those? If you're mad that there was no trigger warning at the beginning of this video, you might be a liberal. Last episode was really good video selection. Cool, man, I'm glad. I had a lot of fun with the last episode. Girl Does Rant is a great guest, too. She's always fun to have around, keeps the conversation moving. She's engaged, she likes the show. Those are always the fun guests to have, as people that watch us, you know. Andy Worski and Hunter are pieces of shit, but I don't really think Kraut and Sargon are rational people who deserve to be heard. Well, I mean, look, everybody deserves to be heard, whether they're rational or not. Everybody's got the same fucking right to say whatever the fuck they want, and I don't really look at myself as the arbiter of who has the right to be heard. That being said, I don't like some of the things that Crout T talks about. I don't agree with some of the conclusions that Crout T comes to as evidenced in his appearance. He and I kind of clashed on a lot of things. We have very, very different ways of looking at problems. And Sargon, I'm sorry to say this, dude, but I've always thought that Sargon was just a right-wing dude masquerading as a leftist. He's just on the wrong side of every issue in a way that I wouldn't expect a fucking left-wing person to be. And as a left-wing person, I don't feel the need to constantly remind people how left-wing I am. You know, my politics are left. My political leanings are far left. You know what I mean? That comes out in the way that I conduct myself. Sargon has to tell people he's a classical liberal over and over again, because if not, you just assume that he was a fucking right-wing dude. All right, Thurman, I'll make sure you don't have to be a fucking witness to my rambling anymore. You stupid fuck, dude. You really haven't learned the timing yet, have you? What the fuck even is a classical liberal? Good idea. Good idea. Let's look it up. Let's see what the internet has to say about classical liberalism. Because I'd like liberalism, yeah. Because I'd like to see how a classical liberal fits Donald Trump. Okay, classical liberalism is a political ideology and a branch of liberalism which advocates civil liberties under the rule of law and emphasizes economic freedoms found in economic liberalism, which is also called free market capitalism. So it's a marriage of traditional American free market capitalism with the ideas of civil liberty and rule of law being thrown in there. This is not, I don't understand how this means that you support Donald Trump. I don't understand how this means that you trumpet every right-wing fucking alt-right meme that gets thrown at you. This sounds, in my opinion, closer to libertarianism than fucking this right-wing fucking Donald Trump worship shit. So what alt-right memes did he trumpet? The biggest one of all, Donald Trump. Is there a bigger alt-right meme than Donald Trump? Pepe's dead. Working 70 plus hours a week right now before I got back to school. You and DP are fucking time vampires, and I love it. Thank you for saving me from boredom. Thank you for the money, man. Good luck working that type of schedule. That's a hard type of schedule to keep, man. 70 fucking hours a week is no joke. 40 fucking hours a week is no joke. 70 hours a week that's a whole different world, man. Just because he doesn't constantly say... Have you ever heard of the term tacit support? Some dude. You say just because he doesn't constantly say shit about Donald doesn't mean he's supporting him. Have you ever heard of the term tacit support? Go look it up. You really need to have a talk with Sargon. It would clarify many, many things. I don't really know that I want to have my position on Sargon clarified all that much. I don't watch him I haven't really ever watched him. I don't intend to start watching him. And I don't feel a need to have a deep, nuanced understanding for why, you know, he feels the need to run around with the alt-right. I'm sure he's an okay guy. I'm not saying he's not an okay guy. I'm just saying that the people that put this fucking shit president in office had help from people like him. You hate me and yet you love me and yet you hate me. Dude, isn't that the fucking worst? Being from the South, I'm not from the South, man. I was born and raised in California, Central California, which is kind of like a mini version of the South within California. Dog, dog, dog. How do you know anything about him if you don't watch his videos? I do watch his videos. I've watched his videos. I've watched enough of his videos and seen him scooching the fence on enough issues for me to understand where he comes from. A lot of these anti-SJW channels made a lot of inroads with the alt-right in order to push their audience. The alt-right cozied up to them because they found a common enemy in the SJWs, and the anti-SJW community cozied right back. That's how a dude like Andy Worski gets pushed up to the top of the heap, right? That's how a dude like Andy Worski gets a popular channel. Listen to the dude. He sounds like my grandpa talking about politics. He's a blatantly right-wing person. He's also part of this community, right? Do you like where you're at right now in life with the drunken peasants and moving around so much in the past? Well, it must have been hard to upend. Yeah, I mean, it's look, part of it. I really like my job, man. I really have a good time working with the people I work with and doing the show that I do. And part of that job means that you move. You know what I mean? When the job moves, you move. I've never been a person who felt comfortable staying in one place for too long. As an adult. As a child, I moved around a little bit, but I basically stayed in the same area of the world my entire life. And once I got out of there, I keep getting, I've been pulled back to that place where I grew up several times in my life. And every time it's been a mistake for me to go back there. Because I find myself with this wanderlust. I feel like I can't get anything accomplished where I'm at, and I want to go somewhere. I want to find somewhere else to be. And that fits me, you know what I mean? It's a hard kind of life to live, though, because it means that you never really get to have a home base. That would bother a lot of people. For me, that's par for the course. Going back to the place that I grew up, trying to find that one specific place on the planet where I feel like, this is where I fucking belong, man. This is where I should be. I gave up on that a long time ago. I don't belong anywhere. I'm supposed to move around. I want to move around. I want to be in different places. Would you do a collab video with Brett Keane if he wrote the script and you actually liked it? No, I won't. That interview that I did with Brett Keane was the last collaboration with that fucking fat fuck I'm ever gonna do. Since that time, he's crossed a line with me, so now I'm just gonna poke him with a stick. But he gets no collaboration from me. I don't care if I like the fucking idea of the video or not. Brett Keane's losing weight. Oh man, good for him. I'm sure that'll stick. What if it was the best thing I ever read? It wouldn't be. That's a retarded fucking hypothetical. You're saying that Brett Keane would pin the best thing I've ever read. It's silly. What I think about chewing tobacco, I don't like it. I think it's kind of gross. I had cousins that chewed tobacco a lot. I don't know if they still do, but last time I hung with them, back where I grew up, they chewed it. It's gross. They carry around their little spittle cup, and I'm always worried like that one of them's gonna like get drunk, right, and have the spittle cup. And they're like, well, anyway, I'm just gonna, they're just gonna have a cup in their fucking hand, and they're gonna forget that it's their spittle cup, and they're just gonna take a big shot of their own looch. You know what I mean? It's I can't shake that thought, and it ruins chewing tobacco for me, dude. It ruins it. I'm just like, how do you carry around just a big old cup of your snot and shit? Madoka Magica is a crap show, and you're stupid for liking it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Misanthrope, for living up to your name. You sat here for 10 minutes thinking I was in a call because the stream was lagging. Joke's on you, buddy. It was just your shitty internet. Have I invested in the stock market? I have in the past. I don't currently have any investments in the stock market. You misrepresented Brett's agoraphobia situation last night. That's not what it's like. I know from experience. So agoraphobia is something that you can just turn on and turn off. You can drive around when you need to, but other days you can't even drive a car because you're too scared. Some days you say that you don't like big wide open spaces, and then the next day you're walking around in the middle of a field filming a video because you thought it would be a cool background. Brett Keane's not agoraphobic. So I didn't misrepresent shit. Agoraphobia, well, let's get the medical definition of it. Let's see if it fits Brett Keane here. Agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder characterized by symptoms of anxiety in situation where the person perceives the environment to be unsafe with no easy way to get away. These situations can include open spaces, public transit, shopping malls, or simply being outside the home. Being in these situations can result in a panic attack. These symptoms occur nearly every time the situation is encountered and last for more than 6 months. Those affected will go to great lengths to avoid these situations. In severe cases, people may become unable to leave their homes. So the idea that agoraphobia means that you can never leave your home is bullshit. But Brett Keane's characterization of his agoraphobia being wrapped up in wide open spaces, which I'm sure Brett Keane probably read this medical diagnosis to come up with his own bullshit diagnosis. He's afraid of wide open spaces. We've covered videos on the fucking Drunken Peasants where Brett Keane is walking in a giant open field covered in snow. We've covered videos where he's sitting in a park with a just giant wide open baseball diamond behind him, big acres and acres of open fucking land behind him. If you go back and read it, these situations can include open spaces, blah, blah, blah. The symptoms occur nearly every time the situation is encountered and last for more than 6 months. So every time Brett walked out into one of those fields to make a video because he thought it looked cool, he suffered fucking 6 months worth of horrible anxiety? No. Brett Keen's full of fucking shit. What would be the first thing you would do if you woke up tomorrow as Brett Keen? Jump off the tallest thing in Festus, Missouri. I'd find the tallest fucking thing in Festus, Missouri. I would climb my big fat ass to the top of it, and I would dive off of it head first for the good of humanity. Yeah, I guess if I was Brett Keen, climbing may be a problem. But I'd do my goddamn best. Take an elevator most of the way. I don't know. Ever been in a swamp? Yes, I've been in a swamp. Did you guys hear that shit last night, by the way? The breathing thing with Brett? That's why I pulled that video. I didn't even know what he talked about in the video. That ended up being good, too. I pulled it based on the first 25 seconds of the video when he's getting into that fucking car, and every exhale is like, ugh. Ugh. Goodness gracious. It's like, what is going the fuck on, man? What is happening? Goodness gracious. Oh. Oh, goodness. What the fuck is that shit? Go to a fucking doctor, for fuck's sake. What's your favorite joke? I've told it before here on the thing. I'm not going to do it now. It takes way too long to tell, but it's the wood-eye joke, dude. The wood-eye joke is probably one of my favorite jokes to tell. I like that joke, and I have a joke that I've never told to at least our, the Drunken Peasants audience, because it takes way too fucking long. There's really no way to do it, because it's the longest joke of all time, man. And it's the ping pong ball joke. Yeah. A joke that I stole from my friend Kevin back in the day. And it's a fantastic joke, man. Where the fuck? Oh, yeah. Trust me, you're not that patient, dude. You're not that fucking patient. Trust me. No, I'm not going to do it. Because I want to actually do a stream today and not spend the rest of the entire stream telling a joke. It's a long joke, man. I'm sorry, it's a long joke. Paul, I know you've talked in the past about wanting to change your last name. Have you ever considered changing your last name to Zigo? I've considered it. I probably wouldn't do 2 E's. I'd probably just do 1 E. I've considered it. I think it sounds pretty cool. Paul Zigo. Definitely cooler. I could even keep my middle name because I like my middle name. Paul Everett Zigo, dude. I kind of like it. What do you think about eating ass? I don't know. I'd probably do it if somebody that I was with was into that, wanted their ass eaten. I'd probably get in there. But, obviously it'd have to be pretty clean ass. You gotta clean the ass if you want to have the ass eaten. Is Ashley at work? She is indeed. Making smoothies. Making delicious smoothies. She makes a fucking smoothie. I shit you not. It tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I let TJ try it. He didn't like it. He was like, I can't drink that. That's just too much peanut butter and jelly. And I'm like, it's like peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a glass of milk all mixed together. I don't know what's wrong with that in some people's minds. But for me, that's dope shit. Doesn't sound healthy. It's not. It's actually not the one that's on the menu, dude. You said you ordered it. Like, there's one on the menu called PB and Jealous. She makes her own. She invented this one because the PB and Jealous, she says, isn't all that good. She's like, the one she makes, that's the one I've tried. Who's my favorite drunken peasant? Probably Kaiser Scoopy, dude. If I had to pick a favorite from the cast, Kaiser Scoopy, dude. I love the breakup of Kaiser Von Scoopy. I love how he has this fucking ability to jump in and yell what everybody's thinking and break up the monotony of the conversation. That's the Kaiser, dude. The Kaiser knows. Scotty can be super annoying, especially when he loses his temper. I like when Scotty loses his temper. I like when anybody on the show loses their temper, man. Change your name to Henrietta Zigo. I don't know about that, man. Tweeted a manatee-themed rap I recorded to you. Hope you can check it out. All right, man. I'll go looking for it. Get off his nuts. He's great, but goddamn, you married to him like bruh. What? What are you talking about, Carmelo? Bring that Ebonics bullshit up in here. Make me start talking like that, bruh. Here in Finland, everybody hates social situations. Do you think TJ would like it here? Probably. If everybody avoids social situations in Finland, that probably sounds like a place TJ would dig. Muscle stimulators on my nips. Dude, the guys were talking about putting it on my balls, and I was like, dude, no. I can't put it on my balls, man. I can't have that fucking happen. I don't know, dude. Those things are not pleasant. I mean, the nips would probably be easier than the face for me. Oh. I fucking hate allergies, dude. Ugh. What was I talking about? Oh, the nips. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go take some fucking Claritin real quick. I'll be right back. Give me 1 sec. Please, Claritin, take me away. Take me away. Oh. I mean, as I understand, Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia was planned before this whole scandal broke. That being said, I don't know how wise it is for Trump to be speaking at all right now. If I were advising President Trump or had any power over what he was doing and any interest in keeping him as president of the United States, I would be screaming at him to go underground and stop talking to the press for at least a couple of weeks to allow his administration to handle the problem. Because every time he opens his fucking mouth, he makes it worse for himself. But he ain't gonna do that. He'll probably use the speech in Saudi Arabia today to talk more about an ongoing criminal investigation into his administration's ties to Russia and his, attempts to obstruct that investigation. The Saudi king was drunk as shit. Good. Did he make him hold hands with him? Did he make him hold hands while they walked around the garden like he did with Bush? Are we going to get some pictures of Donald Trump walking around holding hands with the fucking king of Saudi Arabia? That'd be awesome. That would be pretty fucking cool. Let my scalp breathe for a minute here. Is Trump autistic? I have no idea. I'm not a psychologist. I can't diagnose him without, the benefit of that knowledge. He could be. He could have the tism. 100D autism chess. Am I autistic? No. I've been to a great many medical professionals and gotten diagnoses, and autism or spectrum has not been one of them. I'm free from the tism. Tism free. I'm going to rape you. If you wasn't a YouTuber, what exactly would you be? Well, before I was a YouTuber, I was a technology specialist for a school district. I was a barista at Starbucks, and then worked my way up into management at Starbucks. So I'd probably be, doing some normal fucking job. It's what I did before that, before this. What's your take on the Federal Communications Commission unraveling net neutrality? It seems to be happening. Yes, it's happening. It sucks. It's something that I wished people still cared about, but if you look around, nobody gives a fuck about net neutrality anymore. That was one of those slacktivist moments in American history when everybody was talking about net neutrality and everybody cared about net neutrality, and now nobody gives a fuck about net neutrality because they just waited until there were more pressing issues for people to care about and then went ahead and dismantled net neutrality anyway, right? Future's gonna suck. Yeah, it really is. Dude, I'm so excited. I have Final Fantasy IX on Steam, and I tried it last night, and it's got, it supports widescreen resolutions. I mean, not fully, obviously, but, the menus and stuff move around for it. It's cool. It looks awesome. It's my favorite Final Fantasy is 9. It's my favorite racial slur. I'm partial to moon cricket. It's not a very popular one, and it's one that I heard in my upbringing. It's a moon cricket. I have no idea. I kind of like it, though. Crispy Baldy. Can you try to explain universal expansion to me? No. No, you can't. I have all these games, and I don't know what to play. Childhood was easier than this. I know, dude. It's so sad to feel that way, but it's so true. I've got tons of games spread out over Steam and Origin and, good old games. I've got a few games that I bought there. And I'll sit down sometimes and I'll be like, yeah, man, I got a couple hours to kill, right? I could play some video games. And I'll just look at my Steam library and go, for about 15 minutes and end up not playing games? What is it? What happened? Are we just trying, like, am I just trying to hold on to my childhood love of video games, but I just don't like video games anymore? Is that what's happening? Or is it just, like, just overwhelmed at the amount of choices? I don't know what it is, dude. Dude, I've got more than that. I've had this Steam account since like 2007 or some shit. I've been buying games on sale that looked like games I wanted to play for years. Years. I have years worth of games that I've never installed. Years. Steam Roulette. I've heard about that. I don't know, dude. I don't need a randomizer. I just need to want to play a video game on this list, I think. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Oh, I missed a super chat. Okay, cool. Let's see. I tweeted him. Okay, I got that one. Can you give me some exercise and dieting tips? You started exercising again, and I have no clue where to start on this stuff. I'm 310. Yeah, buddy. What you need to do is not necessarily, like, this is what has worked for me. I would recommend that you focus, rather than focus on what you're eating, focus on portion. Okay? So if you are a dude that would normally sit down and eat like 3/4 of a medium pizza to yourself, or a whole fucking medium pizza, I could do that. Eat 2 slices of pizza and wait 30 minutes. Once you start doing it, you will get... one of the things that I realized was a problem being a fat dude is I didn't realize what being hungry felt like. And that sounds weird to people, but... You forget as a fat person who's constantly overindulging in calories what being hungry feels like. You need to start listening to your body again. And that means you eat until you feel full and you stop. And in order to know what full and hungry feel like, you've got to let yourself get hungry. So I would recommend portion control. And then with the gym shit, just go. Go and get on a treadmill. Usually at gyms, the treadmills and ellipticals and stuff will have a heart rate guide there and the ability for you to test your heart rate. If you don't have that, get one of those little heart rate monitors so that you can watch your heart rate. Find out where arounds you want to have your heart rate at for fat loss. For fat burning, for intense cardio, and you keep yourself right around there. And you go as long as you feel like you can. You know what I mean? Don't be dangerous with it. If you start feeling short of breath and dizzy, you slow the fuck down. You put yourself in that position. That's just what you have to do. It sucks. But it works. That's the advice, man. I do a little bit of weight training, but mostly just cardio. Cutting out sugar is also a good thing. That's a good little supplementary piece of advice. If you're eating a lot of sweets, stop that shit. Just stop it. Just stop eating fucking sweet shit. You don't have to fucking deny yourself that all the time. But that's the worst kind of calories because you're not getting any... Yeah, soda. Cut the soda out. I mean, that's an easy way to fucking... When I used to weigh up there, like 310, and above that. When I started, I was close to 350. And when I used to be up there, just cutting soda, I'd lose 10, 15, 20 pounds. It's remarkable how much, when you're that big, when you're over 300, how much of that is just water weight that falls off of you at the first caloric shift. The last time I weighed myself, I try not to weigh myself in between weigh-ins and stuff. But I weighed myself this morning, and I was happy with what I saw. About 289. Is what I weigh now. which I wanted this week to get below 290. Now, I don't know if my final weigh-in on Sunday will be below 289 or will be below 290, but that was a really nice number to see. It's just the sign of progress, man. I really look at it every 10 pounds, right? So when I got underneath 300, that was exciting for me. But then I was 290 forever. You know what I mean? 290 this, 290 that. Getting down towards the lower end of it, I started getting excited about seeing that 8. And this morning I saw the 8 for the first time. It was 289. And, now I'll be in the 80s for a long ass time. But towards the end of that, I'll get excited about seeing that 7. You know what I mean? So... Is TJ still working out? He's going... You have to talk to TJ about it. TJ is going... He's not trying to lose weight. He's trying to add muscle. That's his goal. So he's lifting weights when he goes. He seems to like it. And, that's cool. I don't know that he's really trying to lose weight, though. He wants to be stronger. Like, he wants to be a big dude that's also kind of buff. You know what I mean? He wants to have that big upper body. TJ, absolutely, dude. TJ could be a fucking, like, he's a giant, tall dude. You know what I mean? He's built for that kind of, like, physique if he goes after it. Yeah, dude. Maintaining a caloric deficit is important. When you're losing weight, you're not going to lose weight if you're not maintaining a calorie deficit. So you have to take in less than you put out. I've found that the body is remarkably good at monitoring that. I know when to stop eating now. When I sit down in a restaurant, see, I don't go to fucking vegan restaurants or health food restaurants, and I don't order off of the fucking light menu most of the time either. I order whatever the fuck I want to eat when we go to a restaurant. If I want a burger, I get the goddamn burger. If I want french fries, I get the goddamn french fries. You know what I do, though? I eat until I'm not hungry anymore. Which usually means I've got about half a burger and half my fries left. I take it home. I eat it later. How often do I clean food out of my beard? I actually don't have to clean food out of my beard very often because I've gotten very adept at eating weird things with a beard. You have to learn. Especially if you're not trimming your mustache. Like if you're trimming your mustache back away from your lips and just maintaining a trimmed mustache, it's way easier. But if you're doing what I'm doing, which is trying to grow to the best of my ability the mustache down into part of the beard, you've got to have tactics, man. Tactics. First of all, when you're eating a hamburger or something like that, you just got to give up on not getting that in your beard. You got to have a napkin handy. But as far as like other shit, soup, you just got to learn to fucking take smaller bites, take careful bites and shit, man. That's when you're eating a big old bowl of clam chowder or something, you can't have that big fucking spoonful that you want. You got to have half a spoonful and you got to put it in. You got to put it in carefully. Otherwise, you're going to have you're going to be covered in fucking, your beard is going to smell like clams, man. Is a beard claustrophobic feeling, say like a turtleneck sweater? No. I've actually found that as my hair gets longer and starts growing down to kind of wrap itself into the same length as the beard, and it feels kind of nice to be framed with hair. It feels cozy. Like somebody's hugging you all the time, you know what I mean? It really does. It's a cozy feeling. But it comes with its problems. Bearded clam, yeah, dude. It doesn't roast my head, man. I don't get hotter because I have the beard. The beard breathes really well, you know. It really does. It's not I trust me. I'm sensitive to that kind of shit. I don't like being overheated. I mean, like, I guess having this giant pile of hair on my head probably heats me up. But the beard doesn't really add to that. You can't grow a beard. You probably just gotta wait, man. I couldn't grow a beard until I was in my 30s, like early 30s. 32, 33, around that age is when I finally was able to grow a full beard. Unless you're Asian or American Indian, then you just may be fucked. Yeah, if you're Asian or American Indian, you may be just fucked. You may just not be able to grow a beard, bro. Which, whatever. I've had enough. I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough of this fucking simple banter. It's time to go balls deep. This just fucking conversational banter bullshit is enough for me. We're going balls deep. No trolling, no bullshit, no silly questions, no silly hypotheticals will be entertained. Since more and more jobs are being taken by machines, should we limit who can breed and how many kids they can have to prevent loads of people from being born into a world where they can't find a job? No. That isn't the reason why we should limit which people can breed. The inability for the workforce to supply a job is a failing of the system. It's not a failing of human reproduction. So no, that's not the answer. The answer to that is to restructure society to find ways other than people working menial shit jobs to supplement their incomes. Whether that means a universal baseline income, which I am totally fucking in support of, or whether that means the invention of some sort of new job market, rolling in public service to the job market and making those jobs capable for people, able for people to get them easier, expanding the federal job force to include people that maintain the roads in large cities and large metropolitan areas and neglected rural areas federally. Those are all things that I would support. Those are all things, certainly I'm far more in support of just a universal basic income. Eugenics, yes or no? I mean, for people have compared my feelings on reproductive rights to eugenics. I'm not in support of 110% eugenics. But I am in support of there being some sort of a baseline. I am in support of re-looking at our right to reproduce and looking at it through the lens of the rights of the child that will be created. That's where my passion lies. I don't think that we can continue to allow people to have children that they don't have the ability to support or have no intention to try and support, and expect those children to grow up into adults that will be good stewards of the country. Children that don't have parents that care for them, children that are abused in their childhoods profoundly or neglected in their childhoods profoundly, do not grow up with the ability to have empathy for people. They don't grow up with the ability to process information at the level that they should be able to. Were they in a nurturing environment? It's just true. Antinatalism is death. So you're saying we should embrace death. Antinatalism is just giving up as a species. I'm not ready to wave the white flag on humanity yet. I'm not there yet, guys. That's antinatalism. It's the white flag of surrender. It's saying, well, we couldn't figure it out, so let's just give it up. No. How do you find the will to keep living? I'm battling with suicidal thoughts, and life often feels hopeless. This sounds really trite, and I repeat this a lot because I've been open about talking about my own mental problems. People, I think, feel comfortable asking me questions about theirs. I don't want to steer you down the wrong path. Okay? I want you to reach out and get some help from somebody, because you cannot, nobody does it alone. Nobody faces anything alone. And when they do, they often fail. You have to reach out. You have to take advantage of your surroundings. And if you have nobody close to you in your life that can support you, then you need to reach outside of that. You should not feel like you want to kill yourself. You should not feel like you want to kill yourself. That is not a natural thing for a life form to feel. Your biological imperative is to live and survive and spread and thrive, and your brain is fucking you out of that. You can't let that continue to happen. Your life is way too meaningful to let that continue to happen. So you got to fight. And I wish I could tell you there was an easy thing for you to do. I wish I could. I wish I could tell you that there was an easy way to beat it, but there's not. It requires you standing up and fighting and realizing it as the alien it is in your life, because it is alien. It's something that shouldn't be happening. You should not feel like you want to die every day. You should not be considering dying as a way to escape the temporary problems of your life. That's not the way that we're designed. That's not the way that human beings are designed to work, right? The body is not made to be self-harming. And that's what those thoughts are. They're self-harming thoughts. They're thoughts that are contrary to your survival. If scientists find a serial killer gene, what do you think is to be done about children who are found to have it? I don't think science is going to find a serial killer gene. I think it's probably more likely that they'll find a psychopathy gene. That's way more prevalent. Serial killers are just strangely developed psychopaths. They're just psychopaths with strange circumstances. Coupled with schizophrenia oftentimes. They're nurtured that way. So you can't ignore the nurture aspect of serial killers. Even though serial killers oftentimes, you look at somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer, okay? He had some adversity in his childhood, but it's not unlike adversity that I had in my childhood, or many of you probably had in your childhood. He was a child who went through divorce, and his parents became very distant and non-communicative during the divorce. Hello? Welcome to about half of the world. Why didn't half of the world become Jeffrey Dahmer? Well, because Jeffrey Dahmer had a particular set of mental problems that, coupled with that kind of upbringing, led him down his path. Finding that gene, I think, is more useful to try and find ways of correcting it, right? Gene therapy. Replacing that gene with a gene that works. Finding that gene is great. And maybe in the far future, finding that gene will lead people. Because there's this big fear that people are going to start designing their babies because of gene therapy. It's already happening, in fact. You can already go in and pick what sex you want. You can already go in, if I'm not mistaken, and pick the hair and eye color of your children. That's something that based on the genetic material available, obviously. Yeah, designer babies, dude. I got no goddamn problem. I got no problem with designer babies. I certainly have no problem with people going, hey, I want a baby that doesn't have the proclivity to have mental illness, breast cancer, fucking heart disease. Why are we afraid of that? Why are we afraid of making ourselves better? I don't know. Want to like make people like me redundant? Sure. Maybe it will be. Or maybe it would just mean that I would have lived a life free from the mental problems that I have, free from the genetic errors that I inherited from my fucking family, the bad back, the propensity for obesity, the propensity for depression and anxiety, all that bullshit. Maybe it means that I would have been able to accomplish far more than I accomplished otherwise. Nurture versus nature, right versus left, maybe so. If being LGBT plus is found to be genetic, do you think it would be good or bad for the community? Would it take the wind out of the sails of bigots, or would it make people breed us out Gattaca style? You'd probably get a little bit of both, honestly. Down the road farther, that especially as we get more and more control over the genetics of a child, that question is going to have to be addressed, right? Is it ethical to delete that gene? Is it ethical to create an entire generation of children that don't have that gene? I tend towards saying yes. Not invalidating the existence of trans people any more than I'm trying to invalidate the existence of depressed, anxious people or obese people. I've never met a trans person who wouldn't have chosen to just be the fucking sex that they wanted to be, that they felt they were. I don't know I don't know why a trans person would ever choose to be trans. The idea of transsexuality, as I understand it, is that you want to be the opposite biological sex. Why would you want to be a person who feels like they're a woman but has the sexual reproductive organs of a man, or vice versa? Would not trans people just be happier being women rather than trans women? Would they choose that? I guess that's the type of thing we have to ask ourselves. That's if that gene is discovered, which it hasn't been. That's the big hard question, right? There was a great Louis C.K. scene about trans identity on Horace and Pete. I didn't see it, but I love Louis. What do you think is the best way to solve the fact that humans are overpopulating Earth due to... the best way to solve that problem... Whoa, that's choppy. Hold on. Let me try resetting the filter. I bet it's all the light. Let me go try and dampen the light a little bit. It's time to try and dampen the light. In fact, since it's gonna be fucking hot today, let's just close the goddamn window. Save what little cool air we have left. Okay, did that fix it? It did not. Okay. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. Okay, that fixed it. Overpopulation was the question. The easiest way to fix overpopulation is to stop believing it's a problem. Overpopulation is not the problem. Scarcity is the problem. This planet has more than enough natural resources, more than enough arable land to feed everybody on it. If we doubled the population of the planet right now, this planet could support double the human population. That is not our problem. Overpopulation is not the problem. Scarcity is the problem. So stop thinking of overpopulation as a problem and you've solved it. There you go. Because it's not. Lack of suck is the problem, is it? I don't know. What do you prefer, cigarettes or e-cigs? I'm extremely curious. Please answer. That's not a balls deep question, you faggot. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here with your non-balls deep. I should ban you, but I won't. Well, I guess maybe that is the sign that balls deep is over. So let's go ahead and end it. Let's call it over. If you can't feed your family, would you have more children? I don't know what you're... I wouldn't have children, period. So... we could fit everybody in the world into the state of Nebraska. The problem is not overpopulation. It's that we do not use renewable resources. Yes, and the problem also is that if you brought everybody together in Nebraska, we'd be forced to deal with the fact that we're all one thing. The divisions that we have between countries is part of the problem. That creates scarcity, right? That means that people that are born over here on this piece of land that can't necessarily support that much can't get the surplus food that's hitting the ground in California when they pay farmers to just let their fields go fallow for a couple of seasons. So you've got orchards filled with citrus fruit that just rot on the ground for 2 seasons. You see the disparity? People starving over here, food hitting the ground and rotting over here to protect prices. Is democracy the same as decision by the majority? I mean, I guess at the fundamental level it is. I would say that democracy is a lot more complicated, and there are a lot more intercessories. We've certainly reached a point now where we all believe that we live in a democracy, and majority doesn't matter. We've had presidential elections where the majority of people voted for one candidate and another candidate was elected, because the popular vote doesn't really matter. So I think that democracy is far more complicated than just decision by the majority. No city anywhere runs on just renewable. Doesn't exist because it's impossible without the battery tech that we need. Are molten salt nukes? Molten salt nukes? The Electoral College, I agree, doesn't serve a purpose anymore. The only argument that I hear from people about the Electoral College anymore is, then that means that the fucking big cities where all the people live are gonna elect the president. And I go, how is that a problem? How is it a problem that the most densely populated areas where there's the most people elect the president? Is the preservation of culture a good reason to limit immigration? No. Absolutely not. Culture always has been fluid. Cultural drift happens. And to try and stop it with immigration policy is just silly. Unless you can demonstrate that your culture is the greatest culture ever. And I don't see that culture existent on this planet. If you can demonstrate to me that your culture is just absolutely supreme to everybody else's fucking culture, then yeah, I'd say not allowing other cultures to influence that might be a good idea for you. If you've already reached that pinnacle. But show me that on this fucking planet. Do you think Onion Boy asked his wife grapefruit me? Probably not. I don't think Onion Boy... I don't know, dude. Maybe he did. Maybe he did get grapefruited. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares about Onision? Sing a Brett... No, I'm not going to sing a Brett Keane version of anything today. How'd you get such an amazing music? Dude, I like my beard. Thank you, but it's not blessed by Zeus. Paul, when people say the universe is expanding, they mean all of the matter in it is moving away from itself. The universe isn't growing. It's probably infinite. That doesn't make any sense, dude. It doesn't... expand... If something is expanding away from itself, it implies that it's growing. If there's an infinite amount of space outside of the Big Bang, I want to see it. What is it? Drives me nuts, dude. The question drives me insane. He means the space isn't growing. I get that. I get that. He is positing that outside of our observable universe, which, you know, the strong current theory is started with the Big Bang, or at least cycles through Big Bangs, where all the matter in the universe comes together at one tiny little point. So it's expanding out into an infinite expanse. So if we were able to go far away enough from the Big Bang, and we were somehow able to resist this, you know, assuming that the great expansion, great contraction thing, right, is the way it works. If we were able to get far away enough in a ship to look at all matter in the universe, we could watch it explode and watch it expand and bloom into... And then there's just nothing out there other than us. That's all matter in all of the universe. It doesn't make any fucking sense, man. It cooks my fucking brain. If I could instantaneously learn any skill, what would it be? The skill to understand how this fucking universe shit works, dude. I want to know, man. That's the skill I want. I want to know what the truth is. I don't want to argue about it anymore. I don't want to fucking try and wrap my brain. I just want to know. All right. This is how it works. I'm going to see Alien Covenant tonight, so I'll let you know after. What is time? Time is a flat circle. Yeah? What if love is a metaphysical manifestation of the balance in the universe? I don't believe in metaphysics, so that puts a big fucking cork in it right there. Metaphysics, dude. Metaphysics, bro. conspiracy theories that I believe in or lend credence to, sure, we'll talk that. The Gulf of Tonkin incident, which was a conspiracy theory until it was proven to be absolutely 110 fucking percent true. The Bay of Pigs, Iran-Contra, those are two conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. I lend a lot of credence to those. I mean, they were conspiracies, right? Current conspiracy theories that I lend credence to. I don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was solely responsible for the murder of John F. Kennedy. I don't believe that Osama bin Laden acted alone on 9/11. I believe he acted with, if not tacit support from people inside our own government, with the full knowledge of people inside of our own government. And I believe that most of the people that run things at the upper echelon of business or government are reptilian aliens sent here to enslave humanity. Those are the three. Those are the three. Do you think owning a gun should be a guaranteed right or should it be a privilege? It should be a guaranteed right that is available to any person that is willing to demonstrate that they are mentally capable of undergoing the responsibility of owning a firearm. It should be the right of every person to attempt to get a firearm. It is not the right of every fucking kooky piece of shit in the world to own a gun. And, or at least it shouldn't be. I guess it is now. So I guess I'd say a privilege. I suppose if putting a test before you can get it makes it a privilege, then it makes it a privilege. There you go. Yeah, you have a right to the privilege. Exactly. You have a right to the privilege. There you go. You have a God-given right as an American citizen to try and get a gun. It is your fucking right to go down and take the test that shows everybody else and go through the classes that shows everybody else that you are smart enough to be trusted with a gun. You have that right, man. Go in and take the test. Let's see how you do. Let's see how you do. You already flagged my video? Cool. Thanks, James Sears, for making it very, very simple to block your faggoty fucking ass. Have you ever been on a train of thought where you believe that you're the only thing that exists? No, I've never been on that train of solipsistic nonsense thought. No. I mean, you have to take a test to drive a car. Why shouldn't you have to take a test to get a gun? Because my fucking Second Amendment, man. The 2A, my Second Amendment, man. I get my gun however I want my gun, whenever I want my gun, man. My 2A. What well-regulated militia are you a member of? What? I ain't got to be a member of no militia. Really? Why is that the fucking object of the Second Amendment then? Why does the Second Amendment start with a well-regulated militia? Nah, man, they didn't mean that, man. They didn't mean that. They didn't mean that. Worst enemy is the fucking Second Amendment, and you make it your fucking banner for your cause. Well regulated, well regulated. Yeah. I love to ask gun advocates what militia they're a member of. Which well-regulated militia are you a member of, sir? I ain't in no militia. Oh, why do you got those guns then? Bruh, your shit's flagged. I flagged it. Are you trying to get you're trying to get banned? You think I'm gonna fall for it? I'll just put you on timeout if you keep fucking being autistic in here, dude. I'll time you right the fuck out, man. Only your other account gets the fucking joy of getting blocked. This account has to sit here and be miserable, man. When should governments intervene in the market? Anytime the market endangers the well-being, livelihood, homes of average people. Anytime the market would intercede in such a way that it would fucking damage the rights, economically speaking, of other people, then the government fucking stops it, right? The government should be the fucking release valve for the economy. It shouldn't be handing autonomy to the economy. It should be fucking regulating the economy. Who determines economic rights? I would say ultimately the fucking Supreme Court, right? They work those things out. Anytime the government tries to intervene majorly in business, there's a court case about it. Let's let the fucking Supreme Court decide what people's rights are when it comes to having their fucking homes taken out from under them due to the greed of people in business. Well, I guess we already did that. We got Citizens United out of it. Cool, man. Enjoy your time out, bro. The Supreme Court interprets the Constitution, which lays out what our rights are. So, once again, explain to me how they're not deciding what your rights are. They have the right to interpret the Constitution through their lens and decide what your fucking rights are. Who wrote the Constitution? A bunch of old fucks 200 years ago. More than 200 now. What did you expect me to answer to that question? I hope in the middle of June the galactic government demolishes Earth. Yeah, dude, that'd be cool. We need a hyperspace road. This little shit planet. We've been watching them for a while. They're not going to get it. They're not going to figure it out. So let's just go ahead and remove that planet, and we'll go ahead and make the space lane closer to Sol. That'll make it a quicker jump to Alpha Centauri. It'll save commuters nanoseconds every day. If super intelligent aliens want to eat humans, are they wrong? Congress determines rights, not the Supreme Court. Then why can the Supreme Court overturn Congress's fucking work? Why is the Supreme Court the last stop for a piece of legislation? I don't know, bro. I can't really do any distinguished English accent. I really need to work on it. I've been meaning to kind of try and pick up some distinct British accents, and I do a horrible job at it, so I think I could learn it if I sat down and did so. Where the fuck is Dynor? Dynor's right the fuck back here. What's your opinion on the death penalty? I think it's antiquated. I think it basically amounts to government-sanctioned revenge killing. I don't think that it is a deterrent. I think that it adds exorbitant costs to criminal justice. I don't think that it serves any purpose whatsoever, and I think that it should be immediately federally abolished. Where the fuck is Ashley R? She's at work. She should be home in a few minutes. Mass murderers and repeat offenders should be killed by the state. To what end? To what end? To what benefit? I'm waiting. I want that guy to answer. To what benefit? To what benefit should the federal government kill repeat offenders? They do not deserve to live, dude. According to who? Who gets to decide who deserves to live? To frighten them. Yeah, it doesn't frighten anybody. Morality? So your subjective idea of morality should decide whether a man lives or dies. And you're comfortable living in a state that has the power to kill somebody. Take somebody out of their life and put them in a chair and shock them until they're dead. That sounds good to you. They continue to commit violence against others. That sounds like a problem of incarceration, not a problem of life. Your opinion of morality is not just cause. Yeah, your personal feelings that people that repeatedly kill other people or harm other people or rape other people or whatever don't deserve to live is not a good legal backing for the existence of a fucking capital punishment. I'm sorry. It's a very emotionally involved argument. It really is. A lot of people got a lot of emotion wrapped up in it. But that doesn't change the facts. The death penalty should be used in a situation in which the cost of imprisoning someone has a substantial chance of being higher than killing them. For example, Osama bin Laden. No. So just OBL, it's just stupid. Osama bin Laden should have been brought back to America and tried for his crimes. Period. Oh, see, Ashley's on break right now. That's cool. You should be home. She should be home soon. Paul wants them to rot in a tiny cell for life. No, I don't. See, that's a separate issue, isn't it? Corporate prison reform is a totally separate issue. I think that prison should be focused on rehabilitation. It should be focused on the idea of removing somebody who is dangerous to society from society, not punishing that person, not torturing that person for what they've done. Prison. The prison system. So, anything else, yo? That does not work, Paul, except for the countries where it does work, except for the modern Western societies where it does. Yeah, but other than that, it doesn't work. You know what does work, though? Turning over incarceration to private prison companies who are incentivized to keep their prisons at max capacity, and then allowing those prison companies to lobby the government for harsher and stricter enforcement of laws, leading to more prison time. That's what works. That's what works. It works. I hate this stupid fucking argument, man. People are just so dumb. Yeah, neither prisons nor healthcare should be private. I totally fucking agree. Not only should they not be private, they should be fucking federal. We can't allow different podunk toot-toot hillbilly states to decide that a prisoner gets different rights up in here than they do over there in them fucking Yankee states. We feed our prisoners down here bologna and keep them locked up 23 hours a day. Because we're fucking at Georgia, Indiana, Texarkana. Fuck you, hillbilly. You don't get to fucking decide. Federalize the prison system immediately. Stop torturing people. Stop killing people. Medical care is expensive. You know what else is expensive? Every one of those stupid ass fucking missiles Trump is firing into fucking Syria. We stop paying for shit like that, we might be able to ensure some fucking basic health care for people in this country, couldn't we? It's fucking ridiculous. Dude, I'm really fucking sorry. Dude, I get close to the fucking camera to prove a point. And if that bothers you, let me know and I'll make sure you never have to fucking see it again. I get close to the camera when I want to get uncomfortably close to somebody in the chat. Make them feel uncomfortable. Decrease U.S. military power, you're screwed. What a fucking fantastic argument, bro. Jesus Christ, man, my whole fucking worldview just changed. Yeah, you're right, dude. We need to dump millions and millions and millions and billions and trillions of dollars down the sand toilet every year to stay safe. Man, you just fucking changed my perspective on life, bro. Those were little safety missiles going into Syria, weren't they? Safety missiles. Keeping me safe. Man, no wonder I slept so good last night, because Trump volleyed off some safety missiles. The fuck are you talking about, dip? Shit. You think having a giant military that goes all over the world kicking beehives makes me safe? Stupid fuck. Keeping all prisoners alive will make us have to pay more for them to be in prison. That's the problem we have here in Sweden. Well, the problem we have here in America is we have this idea of redundant appeals, because we have this stupid fucking system where we put people to death. So we have to make double, triple, quadruple, quintuple sure that they're guilty, which means they have to be tried like 15 fucking times. You know what the cost of a fucking trial is in America? You know what the cost of a... Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. All right, so here is a piece of information from deathpenaltyinfo.org. The study estimates the average cost to Maryland taxpayers for reaching a single death sentence is $3 million, between $3 million and $1.9 million more than the cost of a non-death penalty case. So right there, you've tacked on $3 million to the cost of a death penalty case. For $3 million, you could feed and clothe that prisoner in a fucking mansion for the rest of his life. What are you talking about? It's not more fucking expensive. Oh my God, these stupid motherfuckers, man. Capital trials are 6 times more costly. Closing death, here's a published study. Closing death row would save the state $90 million a year. This is a California study. Oh, man. Yeah, not from the Huffington Post. Does reality hurt? Have you fucking been exposed to the reality of your position yet? And does it hurt? Why are you telling everybody else that reality hurts? And that you're sorry for it? You should feel sorry for yourself. The reality is, you are a global empire. What, the United States? Fuck yeah, we are. You think you're fucking informing me of something? That's your point of being wrong about the death penalty, is that we're a global empire? How do you think that happened? Military misadventure, overreach, constant meddling in the affairs of others? How do you think the military? Rich people got a hold of power and found out that they could make billions and billions of dollars on war and decided to make it an industry? Missed a super chat. Okay. Everything just ends up benefiting the rich. Globalism, gene therapy, autonomous police drones, it all just deepens class divide and warfare. I mean, I don't necessarily believe that any of those things has to deepen class divide and warfare. Intent matters. One more super chat question. Do you believe that Mars colonization will happen in your lifetime? I don't know, man. It's hard to tell. Part of me says yes, it's pretty likely in the next 20 or 30 years, which is probably what I got left, if I'm honest with you. There'll be something like a colony on Mars, and part of me just says we're never going to get around. There's never going to be a point in time where we're focused enough as a people to get our asses up there. And, that we just don't have time to fuck around anymore. We got to get off this planet. That's really the only option that we've got. We're not going to do it. So, whatever. Yep. $598.5 billion a year on military. Crumbling infrastructure, massive unemployment, massive poverty, children living in fucking poverty, people dying of preventable illnesses, a massively underprepared, underfunded healthcare system, and 598 some odd billion dollars a fucking year right down the toilet. There must be no chance whatsoever of anyone even hoping to come close to you. Okay, and for some reason we can't do that, and also cut down our military misadventures in other countries. I understand. Look, dude, if you think you're giving me some kind of a fucking history lesson or some kind of a civics lesson on United States, as a global power and how it has to project this constant fake, sometimes fake, but most of the time just overwhelmingly power-based vision of being undefeatable. I'm just explaining to you that there are ways for us to do that don't involve firing $10 million worth of fucking missiles every day into Syria to no end. You see, I'm not advocating for dismantling the military, dipshit. I understand that America needs a strong military to protect itself from other people, to project power, to be able to go in and do these things. I'm arguing against constant misspending of that money. Super chat guy.
No, these idiots don't understand how it works and why it's annoying as fuck, but here's a tip to you for educating the morons. Thank you, DJ. I mean, I think this moron thinks he's educating me. Are you telling me something I don't know? How is my position that we should fucking draw back our stupid spending, the spending that happens just to justify more spending, and reinvest that in the infrastructure of our country? How does that... I'm waiting. I think joining the military will give me a view on how America keeps everyone in line. I wouldn't join the military. I wouldn't recommend anybody join the military. I feel like most people have tried getting us into this. I've felt this that way thus far. Yeah, probably. Oh, man. So we arm ourselves to the point where if there ever is a threat, it gets wiped completely off the map, right? I understand that that's a necessary thing in the current geopolitical environment. I don't think that that means that we have to have military bases all over the fucking planet. I don't think that that means that we have to continuously send American soldiers to die in shitty places to no benefit to the citizenry of this country. It does. Well, I'm not convinced that you're correct. So I guess that's it. We've reached an impasse, huh? Nuh-uh. Okay. Conversation over. Paul, you said that on LSD, TJ appeared as a weird puppet master. Can you go more into depth on that? I've had similar experience, and I'd be interested to hear your insight. TJ goes through kind of phases on acid, and one of them is he gets this real kind of megalomaniacal thing that happens, and he starts, it happened the last time we were on acid up in the woods, and we were looking at the embers of our fire. It was very dark outside. He was, he started this idea in my head that he and I were gods and that we had control over this little thing. And we ended up fucking with that fire, being angry at that fire. That fire came to represent existence and entropy in the entire universe. And, he led me down that road, though. I was sitting outside sulking, looking at that fire, feeling a kind of undirected anger that he walked up and focused. That's what I mean, is that TJ tends to kind of lead me, or it feels like he leads me down the primrose path at least once during a trip, and makes me feel what he's feeling, or finds an outlet for something that I'm feeling that matches his feelings. We were spitting on the fire, and you hear that hiss when the spit hits a coal, tss, positing that was like a whole fucking galaxy that we just like, nope. Tss. Sounds pretty gay. I'm sorry that you're insecure enough that two dudes acid tripping by the fire sounds gay. I don't know how you leave the house, bro. You see guys walking shoulder to shoulder and cringe away from it? Whatever, man. LSD is fucking wild. Convinced me first that very controlling friend of mine was God, then that I was God, then that all life and reality is God. Yeah. The last trip I had a lot of that kind of global scope to it. The weirdest one was being in that hot tub and seeing the water, which should have been flat, turned curved, and I felt like I was some giant swimming in the globe, you know what I mean? And all of these bubbles that were floating on the surface were different continents, and I was watching the continental drift, and fast forward aeons worth of continental drift happening, constantly shifting, and I'm bathing in it. You know, I'm sitting in it, and as that idea became more central to my trip, you know, like I said, instead of sitting in the water and seeing the flat surface of the water, you know, maybe disturbed by a little bit of waves from people moving, I started to see the curvature of the water, and I felt like the water was curved, and that, you know, Ashley, even though she was sitting just a foot or two away from me in another seat in the jacuzzi, was so far away, you know, because of the curvature of this. It was a crazy trip, man. That was such a cool thing. And then I had such an intense feeling of being there when we got out. We got out and got into the shower. Ashley and I got in the shower. We're just hosing off the fucking chlorine and shit. And I closed my eyes, and I could just feel myself there again. When I closed my eyes, it was like the closed eye visuals on this acid were something to be comment on. Like, most of the times I don't get very strong closed eye visuals, but this acid was just like I'd close my eyes and it would just continue. Whatever it was I was seeing would just continue in my mind. I glean something new every time I take LSD. I get something new from it, so I'll keep taking it until I feel like you do, I guess. God is like a river, man. No, not at all. That's not what the trip was like. The trip was very disdainful of those things. Being on that globe wasn't disturbing, but it just felt cynical. I kept thinking of everything that people were doing as geopolitical maneuvers. Like when TJ would fart, you know, I would think of it as a fucking biological attack that caused the people of Chalcetonia to move to a different part of the fucking globe. You know what I mean? Everything was filtered through that cynical, you know, modern global worldview. And all of it was very central to that. I really did. Like, TJ would try and get Chelsea to come sit near him, you know, and she'd be like, "But I'm comfortable over here." And I'd be like, "Man, look at this, man. This is a geopolitical act, dude. T-Jonia is trying to fucking convince the Democratic People's Republic of Chelsea to join their coalition, man, to join their fold. Let's be one, right? But Chelsea's got her own resources, man. She's got a seat that's real comfortable. She's nice and warm. That's what my brain was doing the whole night. Everything was geopolitical. Everything had its, well, at least while we were in the fucking hot tub. That's all it was, and my brain wouldn't let me think in any other terms. Getting out of it was really hard because it meant that I had to think of the world in different terms again. I sat in that tub way longer than I really wanted to because I didn't want to face the fact that it wasn't happening. Maybe it was like a truth serum that brought out the true cynicism. I don't know. Did you and TJ react to Pokemon the first movie? We have. It's not out yet. It's being edited, but all the principal photography and shit on it is done. It's just a matter of the edit, which takes a long time to do. But I mean, it doesn't take a long time. I think you guys should expect seeing it pretty soon. It's just been being worked on. Oh yeah, dude, this has to go. This has to go. That has to go bye-bye. That's an immediate bye-bye. While on acid, did your eyes get lost in TJ's segments? No. I was not concerned with TJ's segments. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching.